Get in there. All right, guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah. Yeah, we're good. We're good. What up, people? How you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome back to it. Once more in the fray we go. How's that volume? People have been telling me lately my volume's been too low, so I had to juice up the volume. Hope it's not too juiced. What's up, people? Because you know a brother's loud anyway. So I don't even know if I need a mic for real. But I got a mic. This jacket. I'm not quite. This jacket's puffy right here, man. This is not on me. I'm fat, but I ain't that fat, man. All right. My name is Tim Black. Welcome back to the Tim Black Show. It's Friday, so you know how we do it on Friday. We bring it to you. I'm a little late. Thank you, Buck, for not throwing me out. And much love to all the Tim Black Wolfpack in the chat over here. I see the Tim Black Wolfpack in the chat. I see my VIPs in the chat. I got Katrina Watson in the chat. What's up, people? I see Seductive Doll and Michael Dodson and Tom Reck. Thank you, Buck. Buck says we're good to go. How you doing, people? Yes, we good. Man, what a great looking group of people rocking with a brother on a Friday night. Tobias, what's up, man? Nelson, what's cracking? Hakeem Johnson, what's up, Hakeem? Hakeem says, yo, Hakeem, he says, Tim, you need to tell Cordo to change his campaign. I love it. I love it, man. You know what? I get right on that. I get right on it, man, and get that fixed up for us. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hit up Dr. West right now and tell him, Hakeem said, change your campaign. My brother, I love y'all, man. I love the energy, man. I love the energy. Oh, if it was only that simple. Just change something. Oh, my brother, I'm not a part of this equivocation. My brother. Oh, my brother, that's not how I do. Get off the crack pipe, my brother. Nah, man, Dr. Cordell West, it ain't like that now. Don't get me wrong. We cool, but it ain't like that. I can't just be like, Dr. West, I've been thinking. Everything you're doing with your campaign, just stop. Stop doing all that. Throw all that out. Now, I've never worked on a campaign before. And I have not gone to school for political campaigns. Hell, I ain't even taken a seminar or an online seminar about how to manage a campaign. But look, I was thinking, what if you just put me in charge of all your shit? Yeah, that's what we need to do. That's what you should do. Get off the crack pipe, Tim Black. What's up, people? What is up? Roll call. Roll call. PJ Kulo. Drive-by Trump supporters. We got drive-by Trump supporters, y'all. MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. It's like Trump in the black community. Pull up. MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Step on it. In and out. In and out. Michelle Bell. Good evening, Michelle Bell from Northern Virginia. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure to have your presence. Yeah. We are looking good as usual. The Tim Black Wolfpack is in the house, and we are doing our thing. Keep the comments coming, man. That's what I'm talking about. On a Friday, too. Come on, y'all. We gonna do this. How many people out there check out Amazing Lucas? Anybody watch The Amazing Lucas? I like his content so far, man. Because I remember, I think he used to be more conservative, more on the right, and he's made a shift to just not being anything except himself. I kind of give a shout out to Amazing Lucas, y'all. I like that, man. He's not a Hodge twin. You know, anybody who's not a Hodge twin, I could kind of deal with, you know, he's not a Candace Owens either. You know what I'm saying? And he's not a David Pakman either. You know what I'm saying? So anybody's not a Candace Owens or David Pakman or Ben Shapiro, you know, type, you know. Gosh, it's a lot of names, ain't it? But nah, shout out to Amazing Lucas, man. Yeah. Maybe him and I could, you know, work on some content together, do something. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna invite him on the show just to chop it up, man. Because if we disagree, I feel that if the disagreement will be based in conviction and based on just points of view, not because there's a hand up his ass by the DNC or the Republican Party telling them what to say. You know, because a lot of them got a hand up their ass telling them what to say. It's like this. Talking point. So what do you think about law and order? You really think things are going that bad that we need to be cracking down? The Republicans are once again running on the law and order ticket. You think it's really that bad in America as far as crime? What are the statistics? Oh, talking point. Who's going to save us? I mean, not our criminal justice system that's continually just put people in jail and not fix any of the reasons, the core reasons for the crime to begin with. Talking point. You know how much money's in the criminal justice system? Have you been around the country? Have you been anywhere to see that there are some places you'll go with the primary form of commerce is predicated on the amount of people they put in jail? I mean, everything from the jail to the prisons guards to the commissary, everything, the phone system, everybody's eating off of the prison system. How can you support such a thing? Talking point. Do you have any real thoughts of your own? No. Talking point. And it works both ways. Don't get it twisted. So, like, you know, as I look around, it's like I want to be able to work with other people. Contrary to popular opinion, like, I work with a lot of people. It's just that a lot of them, I thought they were my friends, but they weren't. They just wanted to be on a bigger platform. And once they kind of was on a bigger platform enough to build a little audience, then true colors started to show. So I kind of want to work with people who are already kind of solidified as far as how they are, and they've been doing this for some years on their own, and then we can rock. You know what I'm saying? Well, we both bring something to the table. I bring some credibility in the political space. They bring some longevity in their space, and we kind of can work together. So I'm looking to collab with fellow independent media folks who have been doing this for at least a couple of years and have their own following, at least somewhat. You ain't got to be 150,000. You ain't even got to be 100,000, but you got to be like 50. You have to put some work in. Now, we ain't going to go on numbers because the algorithm is garbage, man. So anyway, if you got suggestions, let's not go on numbers. Let's go on longevity. Because if you've got 10 or 20,000 subscribers, but you've been at it for 3 years, you know, I don't care how many subscribers you got. You have soul. You know what I'm saying? You have earned the right. You know what I'm saying? So let's put that out there, Wolfpack. Help me get that done. And let's do this. Let's do this. I mean, y'all like me, but you like me better with people. You got a friend in me. So what's up, people? Are we up here? Are we in the house? Let me check a couple of comments. I see Frankie. Who was that Frankie that went by? Frankie Lee. Let's go me back up. Marilyn Mosby's free. Yep, Marilyn Mosby's going to be on my docket tonight. On my docket. We're gonna cover Marilyn Mosby. We're going to cover the Trump rally in New York. We're going to cover some hypocrisies in the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party. You know, and we're just going to rock. I'm just going to rock with my comment section on Friday, man, and just mix it up and go from topic to topic a little bit. On talking point junk. I hate the talking point junk, fam. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like you're not even talking to a person. And look, and the same thing goes with some of the people on, I would say, who call themselves progressive or left, because I don't really like labels, but they're afraid to say things. Like, I'll be like, are you really against guns? Like, like, you're against bad people having guns, right? You're against psychopaths having guns, but you're not against a person in their house, protecting themselves. Like, if they secure it properly, right? Like, you do realize that there are a lot of people, man, that live places where, it might be nice to have some protection. I mean, if you live certain places in the country, cops don't get there quick. Cops come to fill out paperwork. They don't come to get into gunfights with people trying to kill you. So you do feel like there should be some room here on this, right? Uh-oh. Liberal talking point, 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 and it's all tied to their money. It's all tied to the career advancement. You're not even talking to a real person. You are talking to their bank accounts. You are talking to the way that they make a living. It's very hard to convince a man of anything. It's very hard to get a man to understand you when his understanding of you is directly tied to his money or his finances. It's a great quote. I borrowed it from Dr. Cornel West, and I ruined it, but I mean, that's the essence. People say they don't understand what you're saying. That's because their money speaks louder than your words. Their wallets, their salaries, their career advancement, them parties, them swanky parties. We good? Welcome to the Wolf Pack, y'all. Join Tim Black's Wolf Pack. Hit subscribe, hit turn on all the notifications. I'm worth it because I speak from the heart. That's all I do. For all my flaws, this 720p setup on StreamYard, because I can't get the $50 a month package. I'm on basic setup, y'all. But you understand what I'm saying? For all my flaws, this hat, I don't know, some flaws, my rants, my unwieldy rants. Sometimes I go on one. Sometimes I'm just in there. I mean what I say at the time, totally. I'm adamant. I'm serious. I'm down by law. I'm real. So they say that overcovers that covers over a lot of flaws when you're a real person. So go ahead and hit the bell notification, man, or woman. Go ahead and do that. Stop playing with me and hit like. I mean, I like some of these people out here, but how they get more people on their live stream than me? Let's do this. Let's do this, y'all. Let's get the numbers up. Let's do the thing, y'all. What we got here? We got Tasha. Tasha Peters is in the house. Don't. High Road 11, the analyst. What's up? Welcome. Some kitties in the house. See, that's what I'm saying, some kitty. A grinder. Goodness gracious, some kitty. You are committed. 16 years. Danny Ferguson's in the house. What's up, Danny? Good to see you, Danny. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. Story time. Who's that? Story time. What's up? Percy Miracles. Percy said Marilyn Mosby should be in prison. Oh, we're going to have fun with this story, Percy. We're going to have fun. All right. I think we're good. We can start the show. Meg's in the house with a super sticker from the one and only Megs. Give it up for Megs, y'all. Damn, I'm going to have to go to 1080p with Megs. Megs just said, Tim, go to 1080p, fam. Thank you, Megs. I appreciate you supporting this show. Hope that this content is newsworthy, noteworthy, and memorable. And it fills a void or it solves a problem or keeps you updated, or hell, just entertains you in a way that's not just throwaway information. You know what I'm saying? Because that's important too, right? I met a lot of people, man, in this industry, folks who don't value. They do not value a person that can talk to a camera and not be like dry paint. They don't value someone who's entertaining or interesting. They don't value charisma. Most of them who don't value it because they don't have it. So they poo-poo it. They say, I got a degree. I got degrees, though. Yeah, but you're born as hell. Nobody wants to listen to that. Who are you trying to convert? Who are you converting with your arrogance? I don't know. I guess preaching to the choir is a good living. But I get people that write me all the time and telling me, Tim Black, I'm a white guy from Canada. Grew up around hardly any black people, and you have really opened my mind up to different perspectives about black people, man, that I never would get anywhere. Do you realize how many people I've talked to who have said that, who have written me, who have told me that? Literally hundreds of people over the last 13 years. Now, when you got all them degrees, you get invited to all the cool places. You get to go on a lot of different platforms with other people with degrees. But you know what you don't have, brother? You're really not crossing over markets and penetrating those folks, the market of people that aren't in your circle. Because see, it's like your mama used to tell you, gotta put a little sugar on that. Gotta put a little, you catch more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. And a lot of the professional types, a lot of the scholars, all they got is vinegar, man. Vinegar and numbers. It's okay. You're right. You're better. Congratulations. You go ahead and believe that. I'm going to stay like I am. Down to earth, accessible, real, and flawed. Give it up for that, y'all. Let's get into it. Yeah. Well, since the guy started me off this track already. So Marilyn Mosby. Let's go on with her story, folks. Because people are covering Marilyn Mosby, and I've seen it covered a couple places. And she was the former lead prosecutor in Baltimore, Maryland. And she was charged with, not charged with, that was already, she was convicted of mortgage fraud and then perjury. It said she took some money out of one of her personal accounts, an account using the CARES Act. She claimed a pandemic-related hardship to make an early withdrawal from her retirement account, then used that money for down payments on 2 Florida properties. Prosecutors alleged she repeatedly lied on her mortgage applications. Specifically, she was found guilty of making false statements about receiving a $5,000 gift from her then husband, which allowed her to secure a lower interest rate. Perjury. In a separate criminal trial that took place in November, she was convicted of 2 counts of perjury. So this was like, I don't know, man, definitely a fall from grace, man. Let's just say that. Marilyn Mosby was someone who that really made a name for herself in Baltimore, Maryland, as she tried the Freddie Gray case. And that's not the only case that she worked on that was high profile, that was very serious. She was the youngest prosecutor in a state such as, well, it's a city, but it's not a part of a county. It's an independent city, Baltimore is. So it kind of operates in a different way than most cities that sit and reside within the county, which gives different levels. So there's a different amount of power a Baltimore lead prosecutor could have. And she used that power to do something strange. She didn't just go after like regular folks. Now I heard a couple cases that some people were complaining to me about that were not so great. But no one wants to talk about those. We want to talk about the ones that are positive, like the Freddie Gray case, because that one was against police. So without going back down memory lane, Marilyn Mosby was convicted. It was over. She was looking for a pardon for Joe Biden. That didn't happen. She's still looking for a pardon from Joe Biden. What happened this week was sentencing. The sentencing happened, I think it was today or yesterday. She was looking at 40 years. 40 years. And very luckily for her, she was not given any prison time. But she was given conditions of her release or of her sentencing. There were conditions in her sentencing. She isn't just free to go about life, okay? The former top prosecutor in Baltimore was sentenced to her convictions on mortgage fraud and perjury charges. The details are house arrest for 12 months, community service, 100 hours of community service, 3 years of supervised release, forfeiture. She's ordered to forfeit 90% of the property bought with the fraudulently obtained mortgage. That's heavy. That is heavy. Now, I know she didn't go to jail, but they hit her hard. That is heavy. 90% of her property. To get a further understanding of what happened to Marilyn Mosby, let's pivot over to a clip where it's discussed by CBS. Here we go.
Fearing a gift from her then husband, Baltimore City Council President Nick Mosby. In reality, they say she transferred those $5,000 to him, and then he transferred it back. The gift letter is the only accusation the jury convicted Mosby on in the mortgage fraud trial.
You know, the thing here is that they almost make it seem like wiring money between spouses is money laundering.
One thing that critics online are saying, they're like, wait, this 40 years, you're not actually facing 40 years. Yes, that is possible, but it's highly unlikely. Prosecutors are asking for 20 months. But you're saying even more than the jail time, that not only has the personal effects on Marilyn, but it sends a message.
It sends a major message, and I think the other thing that we have to keep in mind is the type of crime. This gets right to the heart of her integrity, her honesty, and her character.
The investigation was extremely expansive. They combed my taxes. They went through my campaign contributions. They were looking at my charitable donations. They were knocking on neighbors' doors at 5 in the morning to interrogate my hairdresser, my children's dance instructors. They sent subpoenas to all of the black churches a few months before my election, all to create an environment in which I would be isolated and villainized in the media. And ultimately, I lost my election as a result of it.
She says her 2022 indictment has taken a toll on her personal life, including her marriage. She and her husband, now divorced, and she says she worries about the impact her going to prison would have on their 2 teenage daughters.
They've done this intentionally to break me. To break me psychologically, spiritually, professionally. I lost my election. Financially, I've spent hundreds and thousands of dollars trying to defend myself against these ridiculous accusations. You know, I lost my marriage as a result of this. He's a public servant, him just recently losing his election.
ABC News reached out to the Department of Justice for comment, but officials declined. Though they have said in court filings, Ms. Mosby was charged and convicted because she chose to repeatedly break the law, not because of her politics or policies. She's now seeking a pardon from President Biden, fearing a conviction could lead to the Bar Association taking away her license to practice law.
The pardon is because it erases the slate. It will come in to correct an injustice.
So what does life look like for you Friday and beyond?
Friday, and I'll say, based off of my faith, I know that God will have the final say. And my hope is that I will walk out of that courthouse and be able to start my life again, rebuild my life with my little girls.
Wow. You know what, folks? Marilyn Mosby is not the only person that's been convicted of fraud. And there are a number of people that were convicted of fraud. I want to look this up because I want to kind of determine, because I know I got people that are saying, Tim Black, this is a travesty. And I'm going to get to that. But they're saying, they let her off. Why doesn't she get penalized for this? So I started looking at fraud cases of notable people. Paul Manafort. You remember him, one of Trump's guys? Former campaign chairman for President Donald Trump, was convicted of multiple counts of bank and tax fraud in 2018. He was sentenced to 43 months home confinement. Of course, there's Michael Cohen, former personal attorney for Donald Trump, pled guilty to multiple charges, including tax evasion, bank fraud, and campaign finance violations. He got 3 years. Everyone knows about Martha Stewart. Businesswoman, television personality, was convicted of multiple federal charges, including conspiracy, obstruction of an agency proceeding, and making false statements to federal investigators in 2004. I forget how long she got. She went to jail. Martha was in a jumpsuit. No one saw that one coming. So it was very real what was happening to Marilyn Mosby. She could have very well went to prison. But there's something different about this case. It's not just that she's a black woman either. It's not just that, MAGA. It was her money. It was her money. She got access to her money. This was not people was getting money back, claiming to have businesses and taking money from the fund or whatever for COVID relief. No, she used the CARES Act to get her own pension money. It was her own money that she earned via pension. So that was the difference. Not saying it was right. I'm saying that's one of the differences, is that this was early access to her own paper. That's part of it. The other thing is this. Do you really think it was politically motivated? What red flag did she send off getting access to her own money? I'm here to tell you that I strongly believe, she was targeted because of the investigations in those court cases against the police departments. And there had to be people that had an axe to grind with her. When people talk about revenge and Trump and stuff like that, they're talking about this type of stuff. I'm not saying this was Trump, but I'm saying when they talk about revenge, this is the type of incidents people are talking about. This type of stuff really does happen. If you tick off the wrong people, people start looking into your stuff, and if they find anything, they can bankrupt you just by taking you to court. The United States government has endless amounts of money they can use to bring you to court. How much money do you got to fight it? You'll spend every dime trying to defend yourself, which is what she explained. Marilyn Mosby was taking these cases against the Baltimore Police Department. They were finding the Baltimore Police Department to be very much corrupt. I remember there was one particular incident beside Freddie Gray. I still can't believe those cops walked over that. Freddie Gray's spine ends up severed. And people are like, I don't know. The trip from Where they picked him up in the police station was like a 15-minute trip, but it took them 45 minutes. And it was notorious for the Baltimore police to send you on a tough ride, which is through these horrible streets at rapid speeds, and you're not chained down in the back, and you just slide around. And if you look at the Freddie Gray tapes, it looked like his back was broke before he got in the truck. He could not walk to get in the back of the van. But why argue that? Some people don't. Why argue that? My point is this. I remember, less reported, there was a police officer, a ring of police officers that were planting evidence and got caught on body cameras because they didn't realize when you hit record on the body cameras, when you do that, it's already recording. It records like 20 seconds prior to when you press the button. So if you press the button, it catches what's just happened just before you press the button. They didn't realize that. So they caught themselves planting drugs and then going, hey, I found something. All that was exposed. All those types of cases were exposed under Marilyn Mosby. She took those cases to court. So she created a lot of enemies. And that's when they start looking into your background. They're like, who is this person stepping out of line? Who is this person going after police officers? Who is this person? And I believe at some point someone called up and said, hey, you need to cut it out because we're tired of you. And she was young, full of fire and energy. And she was like, nah, I'm not cutting it out. I mean, that's the only conclusion I could draw. Because, folks, we're talking petty stuff. We're talking petty stuff. At least with the Trump stuff, okay, this was notable. It was in the news, yada, 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 okay? It was Trump. He's the president, okay? Anything around Trump is a big deal. The entire Democratic apparatus was coming for Trump, trying to stop him, okay? See, come on. Are you going to say Paul Manafort wasn't politically motivated? You're going to say Michael Cohen was not politically motivated? Come on. And that's one of the things I dislike much about politics is that Republicans, they love to say that they're being harassed and that they're being sought after biasly by Democrats or by the system. But then when other people say it, they act like it doesn't exist. She deserved to go to jail. Yeah, you wouldn't say that about Michael Flynn? What about Rudy Giuliani? You don't think Rudy Giuliani deserves his charges or whatever court legal problems he has? You don't think he hasn't done anything? My thing is this, particularly stuff like filling out forms. For the same reasons I'm looking at the Trump trial, like whatever. Someone didn't fill out the proper form, or someone didn't put it out the proper predicate or put it in the proper code. To even look at that, to even make that a thing that a government has time to even ponder, to sift through, shows a level of bias that you're being targeted. I mean, do you know how many people there are in the country who has time to target your personal transaction of your own money? How does that set off a red flag? So, that's my point with Marilyn Mosby. Okay? It's not did she make a mistake or did she willfully, whatever. Ain't for me to decide. What I'm saying is, why are you looking in the first place? It's like brothers that repeatedly get pulled over for petty shit. He had 10 on his windows. But I could see he didn't have a seatbelt on. Huh? So they use this made-up thing called were you wearing a seatbelt to try to fabricate a stop to see if they can find something else. And whether they find it or not, you still lose your job because you still got to get pulled over, go down and get fingerprinted, all this shit. Or you may be in jail because you can't get out. You got to go to court. And your whole life is jacked up because they need to make their numbers. That happens every day, all across the country. Making numbers. So anyway, I have a problem with the hypocrisy of both the Democrats and Republicans who they only see the corruption, they only see the biased activity. What is the other side? That's the only time it exists. They don't think it exists within their party, within the people that they call friends or that their political ideology has aligned them to. It's always the other side of the street, never your own street. And that I like to believe that most of us decent human beings, most of us decent, real people, honest people, reasonable people, like we see what we could tell. Like, come on, man. You ticked off the wrong people, and then they came for you. My thing is, you try to do your best not to give them the ammunition, because if they get the ammunition, they will use it against you. Marilyn Mosby lost her job. She lost her re-election. She lost her marriage. And her husband lost his re-election over $5,000 that he gave her, that they say she gave him to give to her. You know how many times people do that in relationships? You ever been out with your woman and been a little short on cash this particular time? And she's like, hey, especially my old school sisters know what I'm talking about. Well, she'll slide you the $100. So when you get up in line, you got the money instead of her. You know what I'm talking about? That's what this sounds like, what happened. That's what it sounds like to me. That's not money laundering. That's being a good spouse. That's being a down-ass sister. But in this case, yeah, it was, you know what I'm saying? I tell Mrs. Black all the time, it don't matter. Well, I stopped off and I bought some popsicles for the kids and I picked up this and I picked up that. I'm like, baby, it don't matter. Baby, it's the same bucket. It's the same bucket. The money's in the same bucket. It don't matter whose pocket comes out of. Both pockets lead to the same bucket. Now, let me say this, because if you do any research on Marilyn Mosby, you look up this story, you'll find other people covering it. Let me say this emphatically. Most people won't have the ability to have a Angela Rye and several news outlets like ABC, CBS, and all these other platforms covering your case to help you, when they come for your ass. So she's a privileged sister. All this stuff she's been through is hellish. It's unbelievable. Hopefully, things continue to work out in her favor. I believe they will. But let's keep it 100, guys. She's in a position, probably, this only happened because of her high profile. It's probably the only reason why it happened, but also the only reason why she's able to get out of it is because of her high profile, too. If that happened to you or I, our goose would be cooked. Ben Crump ain't taking that case. Who's going to have our back? Like, bye, Tim. Bye-bye, Tim. Have an ankle bracelet till I'm 65. Just ankle bracelet, just. Because that's what happens to regular people all the time. The government takes advantage of citizens all the time. It railroads us all the time. It's my point. But that is not Marilyn Mosby's fault. It is not. The thing about this case, aside from all the bias, from the political targeting I felt she faced, all that stuff, what also pisses me off, folks, is that she had to get up there. That sister had to go on TV. She had to fucking cry. She had to cry. She had to basically plead with Joe Biden to pardon her. And people didn't have to do that with Trump. Marilyn Mosby should not have to plead, cajole, beg, pressure, continually ask for a pardon. She didn't hurt anybody. She was a public servant. Whether she made a mistake or not, she was not running a drug cartel. She's not running some money laundering enterprise. She bought a couple of properties. Okay? Okay, not Trump palaces, okay? Not Patrick Bet-David palaces, not Tony Robinson cribs. They will not be on MTV's cribs, okay? This is BS. And the fact that she got to keep on, come on, and talk to, Biden, look out for a sister. Yeah. That's what, see, it's just another thing with Biden. It's go, see what I'm saying? This is an example of where just ain't no justice, fam. Ain't no justice, and the Democrats take us for granted. If you really want to be on the bad side of black women going into an election, you drag your feet on Marilyn Mosby. That's exactly how it is, Biden. Thanks a lot, Johnson. See, they do all this complaining instead of pressuring Charlamagne the God and Killer Mike and Cardi B and all these other people that endorse Joe Biden to make a dent with black people. How about just hooking black people up? How about pardoning Marilyn Mosby? You could have done that. Yeah, that's a simple. Why couldn't he do that? Why couldn't he just pardon Marilyn Mosby? That would be even better than begging Charlamagne, having Whoopi and Sonny do a tag team match, trying to cut his legs out from under him. You got Sonny hitting him high, and Wendy hitting. You got Sonny hitting Charlamagne high, and Whoopi hitting him low. All to try to make him say, "Vote Biden, vote Biden." They want to stick the glove up his ass and you did the talking point. Joe Biden is the best. Joe Biden is amazing. I don't know what I was thinking. My name is Leonard McKelvey, and I love Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the best president that has ever been president. What was I thinking? I must be on the crack pipe. I'm going to vote for Joe Biden twice. That's right, twice. And I will go to jail for it too, because I think Joe Biden is that important when it comes to saving our democracy. My name is Leonard McKelvey, aka Charlamagne the God, and I approve this message. Can you let my kids go now, please? Let my wife and kids go now. Yeah, as I'm being hard on celebrities and hard on notable figures when they support Biden and the Democrats, folks, keep in mind, Democrats play revenge politics. I told you Hillary Clinton had a list of people she hated, people that was on the shit list for life. All of a sudden, jobs disappear, opportunities disappear. The game is the game. All right, guys. Pardon Marilyn Mosby. Three years of supervised release. Jesus. The girl that faked her kidnapping said she, the girl that used all that money up in the state, what was her name? She, God, it happened last summer, I think it was. Said she was walking down the street. No, she was driving, and she saw a little toddler, walking on the highway. She got up to check on him, and some people grabbed her. They grabbed her and the kid, and she didn't know where the kid went, and she was gone for a week. Turns out she made all that shit up, and there was no kid. And those cops were looking for her ass around the clock. She didn't get 3 years of supervised release. She showed up in a little Timu dress suit with her family and shit. Just, she's got mental problems. She didn't have any problems that day when she made us use all that money up. And I'm not saying, I know, she was wrong what she did, okay? She was wrong. What I'm saying is, Marilyn Mosby didn't do anything like that. 3 years? 3 years? Her own money. And we still don't know where that girl went all that time. We know she was with her boyfriend over at boyfriend house, or either at some other guy's house and didn't want her boyfriend to know where she was going. Next time you want to cheat, just go cheat, sister. You ain't got to drag us all into it. You ain't got to drag the entire police force into your cheating. You ain't got to have it on 60 Minutes. Oh, she said black women back at least 5 years. But we supported her anyway. We never want black people to go to jail. Nobody ever deserves to go to jail. And look, I'm guilty because I'm glad she didn't go to jail too. What's jail going to do for her? What's it going to do? Give her community service. I don't know. I'm really sorry. I'm stupid. What's wrong with me? You know she won't do it again. What's jail going to do? She got to pay restitution. That's it, restitution. Anyway. Jesus Christ. This going on in my comment section, man. See, this is what I'm saying, man. See what I'm saying? This going down in the comments. Get a home in Africa for what? See what I'm saying? All off topic. Talk about some other shit. You know what I'm saying? They be going at it in the comment section, though, man. The Tim Black Show be full of sensational commenters going at it, man. Oil King up in this joint. Getting it in. Cole King said, how do you get a pardon and still be on probation? She didn't get pardoned. If we talk about the right thing, she did not get pardoned. Marilyn Mosby, look, I'm jumping in late. You could be talking about something else. But nah, she wants to get pardoned. That would wipe it clean for her as Angela Yee. Angela Rye. Damn, I did it. I always get Angela Yee and Angela Rye mixed up. We'll go to the next story. We good. So stop being hypocrites. All right, next story. Here goes some hypocrite stuff. There is this Republican that I've been hearing a lot about. I've been seeing him in a lot of different stuff. And I got to admit, it kind of hit me a different way because it doesn't seem to be, Tim Scott. His name is Byron. Byron Donald is his name. What's his name? Byron something. You know this guy. Black guy, kind of about my size. I don't know what state. I think he's out of Florida. Okay, so he looks like he's on the short list to be Donald Trump's running mate or something to that extent. Yeah, it's kind of different seeing this guy out there just because it looks like he might be a cool dude, but you know what I'm saying? Like he talks like in a language that we understand. And I never heard him do the Tim Scott beg face. Y'all know the Tim Scott beg face, don't you? Oh, come on, people. It's not right when you talk about race. Race is not the problem. Oh, come on. Oh, Jesus. Stop doing it, blacks. Stop saying race exists. Just stop. It's wrong. My pants are tight. I got a yeast infection. I got a new wife. I got a girlfriend. What happened to the girlfriend, Tim Scott? What happened to the girlfriend, Tim Scott? Someone needs to ask him right now. Where's the wife? When's the date? I want to come to it. I'm going to interview both of you. I want to see you together. I'll be able to tell if it's chemistry. I'll be able to tell. I'll be able to look at you and tell if there's some little games you guys play, little sex games. I'm going to look right at you and know. You and Scarlett. But anyway, this guy Byron, whatever his name is, he's like, he's a regular brother, wears a little MAGA hat and shit, just, so what I'm saying is, we gotta do a better job of supporting the inner city youth, and we'll do this to allocate budgets and we'll do what we need to do, and we're supporting Donald Trump because Donald Trump is a better candidate. That's all there is to it. If there was someone else who was more qualified for it, then we would consider that. But as it stands, the Democratic Party is a Democratic plantation, and that's no good for the Black American or any American. That is, it's a patriotic American. I believe that the Republican Party is a better party. Prepare the party for pursuing my ambitions and goals. And as a young Republican, I want to lead all conservative young people towards that degree. And I like that better than Tim Scott. You know what I'm saying? I like it better. But then something happened. Oh, did it happen? True colors got exposed. I got this guy, Abby Phillips. She interviews him, and I guess Abby decided, you know what, man? That camera and stuff got her pissed off. She's like, you know what? I'm not going to sit back while somebody talks smack. Now I'm going to get up. I'm going to start cutting people off. I'm going to start digging into their air. I can be mean. Abby Phillip is like, I can be mean if I want to. So listen to Abby Phillip talk to Byron Donald or whatever his name is. The mega guy.
Years old, you were charged with a marijuana possession, intent to distribute charge, but you didn't go to jail for it. A lot of people probably don't know that about you, but one of the interesting things that's come up is that you have this bill that you support that...
Hold tight, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that about me till just now. Now they know, though. Thanks a lot, sister. That's how it looked, didn't it? Like, oh, now they know nothing. Okay, this is what we doing. We going in on me now. That's what we doing. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. His face looked like, oh.
Addresses crime in D.C. and it distribute charge, but you didn't go to jail for it. A lot of people probably don't know that about you, but one of the interesting things that's come up is that you have this bill that you support that addresses crime in D.C., and it actually restricts the district from creating laws that would have leniency potentially in the sentencing for people who are younger, people who are 18 to 25 years old. You benefited from leniency. You benefited from a diversion program that kept you out of jail. Why shouldn't that be available to other teens right now?
Listen, that's a great question. First of all, when I was 18 years old, it was possession of marijuana. I had it. Make no excuses for it. It was wrong. It's wrong at any other time. I had to deal with it then, and I moved on with my life, like every man and woman should. When you mess up, you make up, but you never give up. I never gave up on myself, and neither did my family, neither did my friends. Now to the bill that you're talking about. What's going on in the District of Columbia is that they treat all offenders from the ages of 25 and younger as minors. No other state in the country does that. No other jurisdiction does that. So all we did in the nation's capital is say, you're going to treat D.C. offenders 18 and younger as minors like everybody else does. That's what we did. That's the appropriate application of the law because juvenile crime is up massively in D.C. and D.C. is not safe.
I, as a former D.C. resident, I lived there for many, many years. I understand what's going on in the district and the challenges that they're facing with crime. But you were also 18 years old. You were an adult.
I was.
And you benefited from a diversion program that allowed you to not actually serve time for your offense.
The state of Florida had a
I
diversion
wonder,
program, yes.
I mean, why should that not be available? If you're an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old in the district, why shouldn't it be possible under certain circumstances, I'm not saying in blanket cases, for those individuals to benefit from the same kind of leniency that you did?
Now, are we talking about having a dime bag in your pocket, or are we talking about?
I'm just talking about discretion, which is based on a case-by-case
But Abby, let's be consistent.
You're asking me to clarify, so I just want to clarify what I'm asking.
But I want to be consistent. Are we talking about somebody having a dime bag in their pocket, or are we talking about carjacking? Because the crimes in D.C. that are being tried as juveniles for people who are 22, 23, 24 is carjacking. It is burglary. Hold on now.
I understand, but your bill is a blanket bill.
That is wrong.
It doesn't discriminate based on
And because the D.C. City Council does not take crime seriously, then it is incumbent upon Congress to do that. And that's what we're going to do.
One of the interesting things
do you want
about
the nation's capital to be safe? I know I do.
Congressman, one of the interesting things about this, though, is that it actually prevents the D.C. officials from making laws that actually are stricter on crime. Why would you want to do that?
The D.C. City Council has proven, frankly, for the last decade, that they are not interested in actually prosecuting crime and keeping people safe in D.C. They went through a series of bills that they wanted to do.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know he was that hypocritical. Hey, Byron, man, look, I don't care how you slice it, right? Yeah, the bill itself. Now, I've looked at a little bit about this bill. I'm just starting to dig into it, really. I'm disappointed that they're considering this. I wanted more. Westmore, veto this shit. That's all. Just veto it, Westmore. Come on now. I didn't know Abby was a home girl. Well, that's D.C. My bad. I'm thinking earlier. Westmore, who's in D.C. now? I don't even know who's in D.C. mayor. The same one, right? The one that gave Chappelle the. Yeah, I'm in Maryland. How can I say this? If you get a break, we get a break. If you got a break, Byron, everyone should get a break, Byron. How you gonna come out and be the tough on crime person, not even in your own damn state, in D.C.? Why aren't you in D.C. worried about D.C.? I'm sorry, why aren't you in Florida worried about Florida crime? And why come the bill can't say for nonviolent crime? Yeah, won't you go after violent crime, not nonviolent crime? How hard is that to put in the legislation not to go after nonviolent crime? What's the problem? See, this is my thing, folks. It's like they don't want to solve shit. It's they just want to run on whatever. They want to run on whatever side that will win them with their base. They want to run on whatever works better for their party, whatever is the better talking point for their party, because common sense would say, okay, I get your point. What's the reason? What was the rationale for the DC government deciding they wanted to treat younger people with different set of rules as opposed to more seasoned adults? What was it? Where's the argument for that side of the equation? Abby's not really making it other than to say, hey, Byron, you got caught with weed when you were a kid, so it sounds a little hypocritical. But what else? I'm talking about, I want to know more about what was the thinking with DC when they did it. Now, I know from my own studies that the human brain is not fully formed until about 25 years old. So the decision-making ability of a younger person is not that of an older person. That is one of the reasons why people are upset when we see these older celebrity types like Diddy dealing with young kids. Because the brain is not the same. It hasn't matured yet. So decision-making, reasoning, the knowing the actual consequences of your actions, these are all important things. If you don't totally grasp that this moment could ruin the rest of your life forever, ever, well, that may determine how you act and what you do, how you behave. I would love to hear that side of the equation, really, to get a full understanding of what DC was doing so I can have a better opinion. But just based on what I'm hearing now, I'm saying, hey, folks, just being reasonable, not being a Democrat or a Republican, not having a horse in the race with either one of the parties, folks, why can't there be certain rules for violent crime and different rules for less serious crimes? Just start there, first of all. I got another clip because this conversation continues on and on. I just felt we listened long enough. Byron wasn't totally honest. And having this conversation with Abby may have knocked him out of contention with the VP slot because he was a contender to be Trump's VP. I don't know if that's going to be true after this. Check it out.
To walk away from that mistake and do better going forward. And so my story is indicative of that. But what we also have to do is make sure that adults are tried as adults. I was not tried.
If that was applied to you when you were 18 and when you were 21, you would have been facing jail time.
When I was 18 in Florida, they treated me like I was 18 as an adult who can sign a contract, who can go into the military, who can do so many other things, who could vote. They treated me as an adult. That's all we're saying to do in the District of Columbia.
I just want to note that when you were 21, you faced more charges again.
I did.
Also did not go to jail in Florida as well.
But hold on, let's be clear. I did serve 2 years of probation. I went through that process. I did have to go and have it adjudicated. I went through that process. I also, under Florida law, went and had it sealed. I went through that process. And then when all that stuff was done, I did also go get a job, become a standing member up in my community, served in my church, coach kids in basketball and football.
I think it's absolutely...
built a family. I did all those things as well.
I think
it is possible, but you cannot be lenient There has to be laws on the books that hold people accountable.
Congressman, there's no question there was leniency available to you. That is why you have such an extraordinary story.
There is leniency in the law in so many other places, but what the
So
what DC
I don't say,
well, hold on,
I don't
Abby,
say,
but
no,
you got to
understand
be
how you can say
consistent.
you cannot
What
be lenient
DC
when there
is
was
doing is not
leniency
about
available to
leniency
you.
and it's not about second chances. What DC is doing is this radical progressive view of criminal justice, which is making communities less safe. That's what I oppose.
I want to
Yeah, what you oppose is realistic ideas that actually work. Yeah, guys, like, fuck this guy. Yeah, fuck him. I mean, I know there's other words that could be more artful with this, but let me just keep it real with you for a second. And let's just be totally honest and real with you. There are studies that show that increasing the penalties for crimes do not prevent crime. So that's not how you prevent crime. What you do is you take away the reasons for people to commit crime. Of course, there will always be some people that do crazy shit. But basically, most people do crime when they're in a financial situation that premeditates them into that course of action. Like not having your bills paid, not being able to find a good job, living check to check, or living couch surfing, or all these types of incidents, or all these types of financially related circumstances even put you in the proximity of other people who commit crimes. It's all the same thing. So until we remedy the reasons that actually create crime, we'll never stop crime. Very few people steal the chicken if they can buy the chicken and pay their bills, right? It's just how it is. But once again, it's an ineffective as legislator. He's a lawmaker, dog. These people are lawmakers, and they have no new ideas. It's just the conservatives want us to throw more people in jail, so let's throw more people in jail. And I reported that it's not just conservatives. May I remind you, I did a full-ranging deep dive on Kamala Harris once again. I did it in 2022, 2021, several times in 2020, about her criminal justice background and how she was one of those people that talk just like this guy, just like Byron Donalds, just like it. So if you are a Democrat or if you voted Democrat in the past and you don't like the way this guy's talking, that's the same way Kamala talked. That was her exact thing. When she was Attorney General, when she was running for the prosecutor, lead prosecutor in San Francisco, same thing. Of course, it was a higher pitch and a different, falsetto type voice, but it was the same thing. And it came with a cackle. Build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. And she laughed at people who wanted to educate kids, educate young people instead of jailing them. And she just kept pointing at the very few violent crimes going, but what about the people that are breaking your house and kill you? What? We're talking about giving kids an opportunity to go to school in better conditions, so down the road they won't be in this bracket of people that are more susceptible to committing crimes. And you're talking about the few people that do this horrible thing. Why are you using that to justify? So it's not about conservatives and Republicans or Democrats and liberals. It's about what actually works. And what does not work, if you can decide not to commit a crime, for instance, just based on money, right? Just based on time you can receive, that means you're not of the people I'm talking about. Because the people I know have their backs against the wall, may be a part of some type of criminal making or criminal activity in order to try and stay living indoors, for instance, or who have drug habits. And let's remember, folks, please remember, the majority of people in jail, what are they in jail for? We're arguing over the few percentage of people that are in jail for violent crimes, or in jail for robbery or stealing or burglary or whatever. But the majority, the overwhelming majority of people in jail, they're for drugs. That's what they're there for. So it's like we have people that are going to Washington. We have people that are elected in state office who are not really focused on the things that make the state better. make the state safer, make people's lives better. They're focused on getting reelected and developing and getting campaign donations from private corporations or PACs to run ads on their behalf so they can stay in office. Anyway, but I think Byron Donalds' goose is cooked here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a whole lot of Republicans going, oh, great, a guy who went to jail or should have went to jail, because that's what you're saying, right? You should have went to jail. And then you got out and you did some more shit, and you should have went to jail again, and you didn't. Both times, someone was lenient. The system said, here goes a kid. Why are we throwing him away? And you know why you got that opportunity, Byron? Because I bet you somewhere someone looked out for your ass. Maybe you had good parents, or parents that had good jobs, or parents that were not on the system, or something. Somebody looked out for you, whether it be a preacher or a school or principal or something, a teacher. Someone had your back. Someone enabled you to get leniency. Somebody supported you. Somebody advocated for you so that and look what you were able to do. Given the opportunity, why can't you do that for somebody else? As if when you were 18, you didn't know that you were breaking the law. You knew you were breaking the law, but your brain did not process that you could be throwing your entire life away for that weed. Right? Your brain did not process that. Your brain said, hey, it's not me. Hey, this is not a big deal. Hey, everybody does this. Hey, and you never considered, yeah, maybe everybody does it, but you might be the one that gets caught. And what would that mean for your life? And it ain't worth it. Anyway, I think Byron Donalds' goose is cooked. I think he's done here. Because as hypocritical as the Republican Party, a lot of those members are, they ain't going to want to hear your story. I mean, they like you, but they ain't going to want to hear your story. Like, oh, black guy with a blemish on his record. Let's go with the unblemished record of the person who didn't grow up under these circumstances. Why would they not? Why would they be lenient, Byron, with you now over your past? You're still looking for leniency. That's what you're looking for. Looking for consideration and weighing you on a scale that looks at you in totality. That's not how the court system works. But that's what you're hoping people would do and make you vice presidential running mate for Donald Trump. Funny how that works. All right. Let me jump in the comment section. Who's out here, man? Am I making any good points here? Anybody else got a different opinion? Tom Ray says, nice going, Tim, on the support systems. Man, support systems are everything, fam. You know? We've all been young. We've all been in situations we didn't know. If you've been like me, I'm not going to say all, because there are people who come from different backgrounds. But there were times I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. I didn't know how me and Mrs. Black were going to live indoors. Real talk. Without help, who knows what would have happened? Okay? And I was fortunate to avoid a lot of the troubles, a lot of the problems, and the graveyard. Okay? That a lot of my friends weren't so lucky. And it wasn't because they were bad people. So, yeah. Katrina, what's up, sister? I got a problem with guys named Byron to begin with. It just confirms that I've been right the whole time. Oh, some kitty. Ali. Laughing gas Mamala. There it is, Ali. What's up, sister? Give it up for Ali. That's one of my VIP members. Look, guys, don't forget, be like Ali. Join the Tim Black Show. Become a VIP member of the Tim Black Show. Go to jointimblack.com. It's only starting at $5 a month. $5 a month. Helps keep the show going. Thank you, Ali, for being who you are. Big Phil says, walking while black. There it is, Johnson. And just the opportunity, man. We all know the statistics, right? And that's probably what happened to Byron. He said he got caught with a little bit of weed, right? When he was like 18, walking while black. Black kids, white kids do drugs at about the same rates. But black kids are like 10 times more likely to be searched for drugs. Guess what cops don't find when they don't look for it? Drugs. I know it's crazy, right? But try convincing people whose salaries and careers depend on that understanding what I just said. Yeah, just because I give the Democrats shit don't mean I can't comment on Republicans. Because y'all give me a lot of ammunition. I'm not one of those people that only sees trouble on one side of the aisle. I see it both places. And that's probably why I'm trying to rebuild my brand so bad. Because people just don't like it coming at both parties. They say they want honesty. They say they want it called straight. But they always come in liking one party more than the other. They always come in either being kind of Trumper but not, or they come in being kind of Joe Biden. They don't like Joe, but they liked Obama. And I'd be like, yo, Obama was the porter-in-chief, the bomber-in-chief. He dropped so many bombs, he ran out of bombs. You know how hard that's to do? You know how many bombs Obama dropped? Obama destroyed free speech in this country. Obama sent drones on American citizens. He droned American citizens, had them killed with no due process, no trial, no nothing. Execution. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we got people still going, that bomber was inspirational. So they always come in. They tell you they want you to call it straight. They want you to just keep it real. But there's just a little bit of them, a little bit, that they want a jersey. They're wearing a jersey, Johnson. They just don't. It's underneath their shirt. It's underneath their jacket. You can't see it, but they're wearing a jersey underneath there. So I'm one of those people that shadows that, man, because any given night, man, anybody could get it. Anybody could get it any given night. And tonight it was Byron. But in the next segment, it's gonna be a little bit of Byron, a little bit of Democrats, a little bit of Republicans getting it here, because we got to talk about Trump's rally in New York. Young black economists, let's check you out, young black economists. There are a lot of wages sold for black men. Public prisons make millions and used to give take break, and some corporations directly lease them. I think it's enough data to show significant effect. Of course, you're talking about the private prison system. You're talking about the prison system. Absolutely. Look, it's not just the money. Give it up for young black economists. Check this out. Excellent comment. But we could go further on this. Check this out. Something was kind of different in the nuance to this, right? It's not just the money aspect. Of course, there's the money that can be made from having prison labor do the job, right? That's one aspect. The other aspect is they don't have to, when you're in prison, you're not a human being. I mean, you are a human being, but they don't treat you as one. You don't have the same protections as a free citizen. So they don't have to follow all of the tight restrictions for your safety. That's some horrible shit, isn't it? There are a number of prison worker deaths that go civilly punished or criminally punished because they are federal or state prisoners. Get it? Now, this is just something that I was looking into last week, and it's really disheartening. It's really effed up. Real talk. When you start seeing exactly how the criminal justice system operates, who benefits, and just how dirty this whole thing is, how far it goes. Because I was only looking at it from the standpoint of, okay, they got you working and they only pay you $1 or 50 cents an hour. But they also maybe not providing you with goggles. You may not get the proper training. I saw a brother that lost an arm and a leg in a machine, some type of industrial plant shit. And he wasn't properly trained to do it at all, but they just put you on it. Figure it out. Here, do this, push it out, do this. Now, OSHA requirements would have been weeks and weeks of training. But since you're a prisoner and convict, they don't have to do that. No one got sued. Now, of course, you may get medical treatment for free because you're a part of the system, but that doesn't put your limbs back on, and that's not compensation. Okay? So, just something that I ran into. All right, Coach. Okay, so shifting gears just a little bit. I hope that works. Hope that makes sense. Yeah. Shifting gears just a little bit. Let's get to this. I was on Twitter. I saw a lot of people talking about Donald Trump's New York rally. And they were saying, oh, this, I got one side of people going, oh, this rally was so successful. It was amazing. Donald Trump pulled in all these people. I got another side saying, hey, how disappointing, how sad, how pathetic. MAGA's in trouble. They're desperate. The numbers look awful. So what I have for you is a couple clips. I got a clip from both sides of the equation. And I guess somehow we'll figure out just how well Donald Trump did in New York.
Much crime, everything is going downhill. The economy is going bad. The food is expensive. It's like affordable housing is not for everybody. It's just horrible.
I want food to go cheaper. The gas, I want gas cheaper. When I came and he was the president, the gas was a lot cheaper than it is right now.
Now we're becoming the Bronx second-class citizens. We have this influx of migrants are coming in, and they're getting everything. And everyone in the Bronx, in the city of New York, is forgotten.
And Jose, a lot of the people I talked to were first-time voters. Some had never been to a Trump event before. Some had voted for Obama twice and voted for Biden and are now saying they are going to vote for former President Trump in November. Look, a lot is going to happen over the next 6 months, but this is something I've been hearing consistently from voters, and that's why you're seeing some of the more aggressive push from the Biden campaign to try to shore up their base, to try to rally those voters.
Someone said they couldn't hear the soundboard. Is that true? No cheers tonight, huh? I don't know what's going on, fam. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Okay. Now check this out, guys. What I found, what I was looking at here. So let me get this off screen. Someone says they could not hear the soundboard though. Thank you for that. I'll stop pressing buttons if they're not working. Interesting comments from the MSNBC reports, right? Because that's not Fox. That's not the Fox crowd. They're saying, hey, they talked to some people. You saw the people. Now, we both know that everything is reliant on the president. Not everything. But my thing is this. The price gouging that's going on, part of the reason why I think prices are so high are because corporations are boosting the price. Joe Biden could be on TV every day talking about this. He could be on TV and vilifying those corporations that are price gouging American citizens, which is lying and saying it's a supply chain issue when it's not. Also, Biden may not be totally responsible for gas, but if you look it up, you look into this, you'll realize that there are different things you can do as far as oil reserves or what have you. I'm not saying you should, but I am saying there are options that could be considered that Biden could look into or could have looked into to mitigate some of this. But remember, like I stated, the lying that's going on, the corporate theft, basically, man, we're being shook down. We're being shook down by the powers that be. And our president's going along with it. if I'm the person that you put in charge, and I love my people, right? And somebody was gouging you, if I couldn't just stop them, I would damn sure talk about it. I'd be on someone's program every day. Remember what the president is. He's just a figurehead. He's just the face of the country. You think if Joe Biden went on TV at the press conference, instead of Corinne Jean, whatever, saying a bunch of lies and bogus spins on narratives, he could just get up tomorrow and go, hey, listen, everybody. I want to talk about the cost of living. I want to talk about, let's talk about Shell. Shell's garbage. No, listen. Real talk. It's no joke. They're price gouging us. They're robbing us. They're robbing us blind. And start naming all the CEOs. Start naming all these corporations. You know, basically being the guy we thought Bernie could be. And he proved not to be so much that guy. But you know what I'm saying? But he could have been a guy. Biden could be a guy that shames those. See, part of being president is not everything is under your control, that you could just do this and do that and push a button. But you are the most powerful person in the country. You can do executive orders. You get things done. But you had the power of being able to talk and everybody on the globe hears you. Everyone. That would crash stocks, tank stocks. So it's not just, oh, he's talking, he's tweeting. He's hitting those fuckers on the stock market. When he's going in, when he's calling them out, when he's revealing them, when he's making it known that what they're doing is ruining the country, that what they're doing is robbing the American people. He could be that guy, but he's not that guy. And people see that. Now, those other questions that they were talking about in New York, it sounds like those are real concerns. Whether Democrats want to listen to those concerns or not. That's what real people are thinking. Everyone's not a plant. Everyone who thinks, hey, life was better at this time or that time, they're not all plants. For them, maybe life was better. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to another clip. I got a couple more. Let's see if we can get rid of that one. I got too many clips, fam.
Oh, hello, everybody. Thank you very much. This is some turnout.
Presidential candidate Donald Trump came to the South Bronx today to speak to some supporters and to a fair amount of empty space in Crotona Park. He was as bellicose as you'd expect.
Our black population and our Hispanic population who are losing their jobs, losing their housing, losing everything they can lose.
But Trump is a billionaire, and the South Bronx doesn't house any billionaires. Politically, Trump shouldn't get his hopes up.
If you did a poll about who's more popular, Donald Trump or lead paint, I suspect lead is more popular than Donald Trump in the Bronx.
And yet, look at that crowd. There are a lot of red hats in there.
They're all from out of state. Go out there and look at all them cars that are parked and check where they came from. Tennessee, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Texas.
Well, maybe not all. This young man is from Queens.
You ever been to the Bronx before?
Yeah! I've been to the Bronx once. This is my first time coming here.
But like a lot of others, he supports Trump.
He's a great person. He does care for all the American people, for the country.
He saved the country. We were in great shape. Now we're in terrible shape.
There were a few tense moments as the two sides shared space in the park, but most were tolerant of one another, if dismissive.
I'm not surprised that ignorance is here, and I choose to not be ignorant because I read books.
My girl sister. Look, man, what a... Give it up for that, give it up for that. Check this out, guys. I don't see much difference between this and the Democrats when they be at Biden rallies. You go through the Democrats, you hear the same thing, man. People just assign all types of whatever to these presidential figures, man. It's what they do, sister. Look, sisters, it's what they do. Brothers, it's what they do. people attribute things they have no basis for. You know what I'm saying? No basis for it. Of course, the Democrats don't want to admit that Trump had a good day. Of course, the Republicans and Trump, they're going to exaggerate how good a day they had. These are all things you got to expect. You got to expect one side to play it down, the other side to play it up. And if you know what, if they didn't do that, they would be failing at their jobs, right? So that's sort of like the given. That's how this works. It's frustrating as hell, but it is what it is. So we got one side, we got the Democrats going, hey, Trump, what did Richie Torres, Congressperson Richie Torres said, what was it, mold or mildew or something he compared Trump to? He said mold and mildew was more popular than Trump in the Bronx. I don't know, man. I don't know. So we got that side. And then we have this side.
Like, what kind of response did he get?
Well, certainly a bigger crowd than I think Democrats would like to see, particularly given this is one of the bluest counties in the entire country. Now, one of the things that was interesting to me is that the Trump campaign said that they were going to micro-target to get people from the community to come to this rally. I wasn't sure what to expect. I've gone to a lot of these rallies across the country, and there are often people who travel hundreds of miles to see Donald Trump, and they're not necessarily part of the community. However, one of the things that I found was that there were a lot of people here that were actually from.
Now, I don't know what happened with that. It got cut off, and I'm glad it did. Man, damn, why they had to put the YMCA song on there? Hope I don't get in trouble for the YMCA song. Why am I getting in trouble for a song? Or should that be YMCA? All right, so she was saying that there was a lot of people there, and notably to her, she just said it looked like there were a lot of people there from New York. Is it so hard to imagine that Trump could be pulling people? I mean, come on, guys. That he could be pulling some support from New York. Not enough to win New York. It's a blue state. It's overwhelmingly liberal. Okay? Same thing with California. But he didn't have to win New York anyway. He's got to win. And where he needs to win is where he's winning right now, according to polling. But, you know, polling ain't voting. But we'll see. Arizona, Michigan, Florida, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. I think those are the 5. Damn, I know the 5 states. Yeah. Doing this a couple years, Tim. I didn't have to think about it too bad. That's pretty good. So, as I pointed out, guys, it is what it is. I think that the Trump rally participants, they enjoyed their time with Trump. And they were happy to see him. And yeah, folks driving to an event, I know that happens. It always happens. There's always people that come from surrounding areas. Hell, I've been on comedy tour, and I remember people drove a couple hundred miles to see us, and we weren't president, nor were we running for president. It's just they wanted something to do. We were there. We're going to be there, and they came out, and we loved them for it. People will travel. It's not. I think personally, that is an example of how popular you are. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. They want to make it a bad thing because all these people weren't local. But hey, if people show up, people show up. And that's what you want. You want people showing up. Now, what gets bad is when you got to bus people in. When you got to pay for them to come in. That's different. Now, if they told me there were a bunch of buses that were from some company that were bringing people in from, that's what I'm looking for. Now, that is a manufactured group, okay? That's a different story. You know, sort of like what, I don't know, with some of these Democratic primaries back in 2020, I saw some of that happening, where they were actually busing people in to events, and it made it look like there were more people showing up than there were, like Cory Booker or Amy Klobuchar or, you know, or whoever. So it's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah, but I'm like I said, we have a ways to go. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But just know right now it's a very tight race. But Trump is looking pretty well right now. But we'll see, because Trump could go to jail. Trump could go to jail. Biden could fail. I don't know. But what we're going to do here is we're going to continue to report on it as honestly as possible and provide a different perspective, a perspective you just can't get on cable news. And we're willing to talk about Republicans and Democrats and give them both either credit or get called out. That's the least we can do, right? Let's go to comment section. Let's go to comment section. Oh, damn, what happened? Let me get this. Then there were retirees, there were a few Africans and Asians in different sections, whatever. Okay, something moved. Here we go. Nelson, the Bronx people were chanting F Trump and F Biden too. So both sides, right? There were F chants on both sides. That's a different way to put it. But I'd rather catch the clap than go to a Trump rally. I feel you on that one. Damn, the clap. Ross Incognito says, the cheating will be absolutely insane. Damn. That's crazy. I got anybody on Twitter? Anybody on Twitter? Anybody on Facebook? Anybody on Twitter? Anybody on Facebook? Facebook does not push out my content anymore. Arlene Chambers says, thank you, Tim, for always keeping it real. I do my best, Arlene. Thank you for being here. Thank you, sister, for always supporting us. Damn, they said my claps aren't working. Politicians are the undead. I was joking that Nick, MSM, have fits either way. They do have fits either way. Yes, they do. I'm looking through my comments, guys. Keep them coming. I want to continue to. Anybody got any questions? Anything that I'm missing that I haven't talked about this week? We had several topics this week that we covered, but I'm sure some stuff I missed that you guys could bring up. What I missed this week that's what's dope or interesting? Anything? DC Precise. Quote of the night. I read books. That was a good one. I read books. Yes. That was dope. That was cute that they put that in the end. That's a good way to end the segment. I read books. Facebook locked you out. Facebook locked me out. I can't get on there anymore. Ajamo and Bree. Yeah. Ajamo and Bree. Okay, well, that's interesting that you brought that up. Now, we all know I've covered this, and I gotta say, man, I don't want to argue. I don't want to get into a back and forth with him, and I won't. I won't get into a back and forth with him. How about that? I won't get into it. I saw a clip on Twitter of Ajamo Baraka admitting that the Green Party had a lot of work to do with black voters. It's crazy. So Ajamo Baraka is the VP pick. He was the VP for the Green Party back in 2016. Ajamo Baraka is a well-respected brother, and I don't know anyone who I don't know why anybody wouldn't be, not an Ajamo supporter. I like Ajamu. Ajamu's a great guy and very very much committed to liberation and very serious, very thoughtful brother, very reasoned brother, wise brother. And I enjoy talking to him every time we've had a conversation. And we'd love to have many more conversations. And that brother, I got it in that same interview with Bree, he was saying that, hey, we should not poo-poo the existence of work to be done in the Green Party when it comes to attracting black voters. Now, he didn't say black. He said people of color or something. I don't know what term he used. I disagree with that terminology. I don't like when we lump everybody into this thing, okay? Because I don't know if Iranians feel the same way I feel. I don't know if ethnic Europeans, I don't know, from wherever you come from, feel the same way that, all non-European people feel the same way as I feel as a Black American, right? We have different histories and different existences within the country, and we are treated differently by society, and our imagery in all things media related are different, as opposed to Asians, Latinos, and even Native Americans. So I don't agree with that depiction, but at least he did say it. You would have thought I was talking some type of strange foreign language from a spaceship, some alien existence or species, when I was saying how the Green Party does not stand up, does not have a reputation, lacks in these departments when it comes to black voters. You would have thought I said something crazy. Now, if I say that about the Democratic Party, no one bats an eye. Everybody goes, yeah. And if I say it about the Republican Party, people just jump out the windows throwing dollars, agreeing. But you don't think that exists in independent circles? You don't think that we all live in the same bubble? Hey, man, this thing's, there are things that plague us all. And to the extent that we're willing to accept that there is work to be done, will determine just how much work we get done. And if we can't admit that there's some shortcomings, there's short-sightedness from a society that we're all raised in, that we're all conditioned in, that's created this, then really, what are we doing? And if I'm talking to people that consider themselves the most progressive people in the country, and they don't get it, it's enough to really make it so disheartening, like, why continue? I'm just saying, it just hit me pretty hard that I had a bunch of Green Party people disagreeing that racism and that it impacts their party, like it impacts all other parties. It would be like, I don't know. It's like I told Ajamu, man, I said first the Fat Boys broke up and now this. It's unbelievable. Like, tell me it ain't so. Who cloned you? Because, like, what's going on? We know these things exist. We know there's classism. No one doubts classism. We all know that people get treated differently and people think you got money. When you got money, people treat you different. No one's surprised. No one has to argue. Everyone accepts and believes that when people have a belief that you are worth more money, they treat you different. Race in America is a currency. And people are treated different based on race. It's just what it is. We all know it. And just so happens, for some strange reason, the darker you are, more likely the less money you have. Hell, I had veteran actor Bill Duke, veteran author, actor, director Bill Duke on this show. And we had a conversation about it, about race and about society and about Hollywood, way before Cat Williams. And he was talking about people making you put on pantyhose and fishnets and all this stuff. You guys remember this? It's just I don't have the reach of Club Shay Shay. But some of the stuff that Cat Williams was talking about, Bill Duke was talking about, but of course it was also a lot more substantive. Damn it. Bill Duke was talking about how it's not just black folks with racism. Bill Duke comes from a place, I think it was Alabama, Well, you couldn't go to church if you were black, if you were darker than the bag. They literally held a paper bag. They nailed a paper bag to the front of the church. Not the disco. Not the Boys and Girls Club, the Rotary Club. In front of the church, in the black church. And if you were darker than the bag, your ass couldn't come praise God. Bill Duke is not 100 years old. Bill Duke is 70 years old. So when I'm talking to these people and I say, we got a racial problem, and they go, you're just a hater, Tim Black. You just forget you, man. Bye. Talk to the head. Jimmy was right. And this person's right. And you're just stupid. You just focus on race too much. It's like pointless. And nobody from the Green Party of any stature came in and cleaned it up. But when I was promoting them, when I was supporting them, when I was bringing them on, when I was interviewing Jill in person, when I drove all the way to Philly to do so, when I was opening rallies for her, that's just still on the internet. Look it up. You had time to talk then? So it's just what it is. You know, I'm going to end it here because a lot of people, I'm sure, are not that interested in it. I will say this. One of the reasons why I distance myself from the Green Party, because it left such a bad taste in my mouth. Hey, look, I support Julian Assange too. And I've attended a number of rallies online in support of freeing and dropping the charges against Julian Assange. Me. Feel the same way about Jeffrey Sterling, who I also supported, who I also attended online vigils and rallies for. My thing was, I could not get the same type of support for black folks whose stories I covered all the time. I had people that were continually contacting me from the Green Party to support Julian Assange more and more and more and more and more. But they weren't doing that with black issues. And after a while, I started taking it personal. That became a problem. I stopped overlooking it. It became a thing with me. I started looking at how independent media was not addressing these issues, how other issues made money for them or gave them reach or provided them a bigger audience. But certain other stories did the opposite. And those were the stories I covered. No one cared about Breonna Taylor until it got super duper big that they could all capitalize off a lot of views. They didn't care about George Floyd until it got super duper big. They didn't care about Freddie Gray. I've been at this that long. No one was talking about Freddie Gray until it got super duper big, until there were riots. There were people protesting in Baltimore about the death of Freddie Gray for a week before a single window was broken. And none of these people would cover it. So these things stay with me. These things tick me off. And I admit, man, it made me bitter. Yeah, okay, I admit it, guys. It made me bitter. And then I went over and I started doing mostly, I just doubled down. I didn't stop doing black content. I doubled and tripled down on black content. And then I realized something, and this is the kicker. Buck, here's the kicker, Buck. Then I realized black people are not a monolith. Then I realized this black people don't give a shit either. Then I realized there's black people that don't support it either. Then I realized it was black people that didn't want to hear about it either. And then I realized something else. The more you don't know how much you don't know. That's when you know. Like when you realize you don't know shit. And that's when I started realizing. So it ain't just about progressives, the Green Party, or Democrats, or liberals, or conservatives, or Republicans. It's about people. And the thing most people are interested in are what's impacting them. What's the rest right in front of them. That and escapism, trying to get away from their problems, right? And what impacts them, and what they're reaching for, what they're trying to get to, and then so I didn't mean to go on and on, guys. I just wanted to point that out. I hope that makes sense, Katrina. It's no one's evil. No one's evil. People have their flaws, and I'm one of them. Yeah, Johnson. Okay. Don't get banned. Yeah. Nick says, I don't know shit. That much is true. I know a little bit about a lot of bit. Because covering the news cycle, covering what happens, to hopefully speak to it in an intelligent, informed manner, I gotta look up stuff. For instance, like, to just know, when the Democrats like saying we've canceled $167 billion worth of debt, that's money on a spreadsheet. That's money in a computer. You just said, hey, give us what you got. You just said, hey, we're gonna knock off 10,000 off your debt. Oh, you owe 60 grand? We're gonna knock off 10 grand. Or we're gonna knock off 20 grand. Let's lop off 20 grand of what you owe. That's not giving those people money. And that's not wiping out everything they owe either. Okay? And that $167 billion sounds like a lot. And in people's minds, the way that they process that is not the actual way that impacts and shows up in the real world. It's not the same thing. Even if we look at the $167 billion that Joe Biden's canceling, when you wrap your head around that, I don't hear a single solitary corporate news anchor, news person tell you that there's over $1.71 trillion of debt on the books. Then you compare $167 billion to $1.71 trillion, and you see the difference there. What's the percentage? Someone do some quick math on that. Is that 5% of the overall debt? People are dying. Seniors are dying at 75, 78 years old with student loan debt still on the books. You can't discharge it. Thank Biden for that too. Biden is the reason why you can't write off student debt. I don't hear Joy Reid talking about it. Republicans can't talk about it either because they're against it too. See? So sometimes you fall into an area where it benefits both parties. Neither party can tell the truth. See, people think, oh, you got the Republicans that keep the Democrats honest, and the Democrats will be honest, will keep the Republicans honest. No, because there are some things they overlap. So that happens with Israel. Democrats are criticizing Israel to a very small degree, but Republicans are not at all. They support Israel to a humongous degree. There is no opposites. But people think when you have two corporate parties, two major parties are both corporately tied. That's why people use the analogy of two wings on the same bird. No split birds. Split birds don't live. There's no half a bird flying around. That bird ain't going nowhere. Okay? They do like this. They work together. That's a perfect example. Student debt. So it's not one party going, hey, everybody should be able to go to school for free. Just like you're able to go to public school up till 12th grade, we should extend that to at least the first 4 years of college, or the first 2 at least. No. The Democrats aren't advocating for that, and the Republicans want you to pay to go to high school if it was up to them. So no, it's not. They're both, each party sucks. Both parties sucks. And if no one's there to call it out in the independent space, you never hear about it. There are people pressuring other people to vote for Joe Biden on the fallacy that all this money's been wiped out. When we got 80-year-old grandmothers, great-grandmothers, leaving their kids debt, not money, because of student debt. Hypothetically, I think that could happen. I don't know. Maybe I'm going a little bit far. Maybe I'm going a little far on that. Okay? Just think about child care. Child care, guys. Child care. The money that went to Israel, the money that went to Ukraine, should have went to states so they could cover child care for kids. Do you know how much life would change for young families if they were given a stipend for child care? People are paying, half their mortgage money goes to child care. And don't have two kids in child care at once. Oh, you can forget it. Oh, it's a wrap. I remember when me and Mrs. Black were first starting out, we couldn't afford a car. It took us like 18 months to buy a car that was worth having, that could actually get us to point A to point B and not break down without having to keep the thing of water in the back because it would overheat, or keep extra oil because it was leaking oil. Because the cost of daycare was so high, it was a car note. We could barely pay the insurance if we had a car note, because childcare was so expensive. And it's just gotten higher. I mean, the prices I was paying then, I would love to pay them now, but inflation. So all of these things. And there's no party going with the great idea like, hey, Tim's got a great idea. Let's allocate money. Because if you really want to prevent crime, if you really want a better society, there are things you could do. But then what's going to happen with the prisons? Who's going to fill the prisons? Someone's got to fill the prisons. If not, how are all these small towns in America going to run? They got no industry. They got no manufacturing left. There are places in America where towns, everyone works at the prison. The prison is the hub for all the economics, all the commerce that's done in that town. From the prison guards to the commissary to the keeping of the lots, everything is done. The prison is 45%. And law enforcement takes up 40% of the budget, if not more. To do what? To keep the prisons going. Now you're getting it, Johnson, and there is not a party that's dedicated to changing that, because they're both tied together with corporate interests. And it's not just the Republican Party. Kamala Harris ran on being a top cop, ran on tough on crime, and that's not the 70s. It was the early 90s. No, Kamala was the mid to late 90s. Hello. Did I do that? Is this thing on? Can you hear me now? I want to welcome back to the fold, Violet of Content Boutique in the house. Thank you for joining, Violet. I saw you earlier. I would clap for you, but I was told my clap buttons aren't working. I want to welcome anyone else who joined and subscribed today. Thank you for what you do. Thanks for being a part of this. We do this on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Hope to have you back here soon. I'm going to put out separate clips of the stories that we talked about tonight. They're going to be on the YouTube channel. Go to Join Tim Black once again. Become a member, $5 a month. I'm not asking a lot of hope. If you can't do that, at least share the show. Let somebody know there's somebody out here in the wilderness willing to take less money, be less successful, to do a better job of educating the world. You know? Because that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And anybody in independent media who has the guts to call it straight, who ain't pandering to either side, they deserve your support. All right, guys. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you. Happy birthday, Violet the Content Boutique. Happy birthday, sister. I'm glad I checked that. I'm glad I saw that. That's it. Number 70, grade 70. Amazing. Damn, thank you, Violet, for sharing that with us. Thank you for being, for putting up with Tim Black. Thank you for putting up with me all these years. Thank you for putting up with me for all these years, Violet. I know I am no walk in the park. But some days it's going to rain if you're in the park with me. But you know what? I do have an umbrella, and I do promise it's going to be more days where the sun will shine. All right, guys, much love to you. Real Tim Black on most social media, Tim Black Show on other social media. Always can email me at tim@timblacktv.com. Shout out to Lynn. Lynn, I got your letter. I read your letter. Thank you, Lynn. And if that guy wants to jack my style or my name or my story, the Calling It Out show or whatever he's doing, more power to him. It is what it is. Thank you for being who you are. All right. All right, guys, I'm gone. I'll see you on the next one. I got everybody, or mostly everybody. DC says, great show. Peace. Young Black Economist, I got a new person, a new subscriber. We out of here. Let's crank up some music. What we got here? There it is. Boom.